The You're Gonna Love This or Not podcast contains harsh language and may not be suitable for younger listeners.
Why would you answer this call? Why would you answer this call? Why?
Hello?
Hey man, what's up?
Hi.
Hey, you coming this month?
Well, the last movie wasn't that bad. I mean, it was a sellout to corporate America and McDonald's, but wasn't terrible.
I mean, we did Tammy and the T-Rex and then Mac and
We're not gonna talk about Tammy and the T-Rex, because that was a shitstorm.
No, this
but
one.
Mac and Me was pretty okay.
This is a whole different kind of story this month.
What day are we recording?
Well, on a Friday.
Valentine's Day Friday?
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but sure, yeah.
Well, I mean, I got nothing else going on.
I'm just kidding, I knew it was Valentine's Day. This is a movie about true love across the centuries. This movie is a movie about a princess enchanted to sleep forever.
Sleeping Beauty?
No. True love,
Snow White?
No.
Marriage?
Well, imagine that, but with time travel and a sassy gay black friend.
Are we watching Doctor Who?
And it's directed by Stewart Raffill.
Fuck!
Yes, that's
right.
Why? Because it's our salute to all directors, but mostly Stewart Raffill.
This is fucking terrible.
Oh, it's great. You're gonna love this movie.
He's been 50% so far.
You just come over.
Fine. Will it be pizza?
Of course, it's Valentine's Day.
Will it be heart-shaped pizza?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll come over, I guess.
In this month's episode of You're Gonna Love This or Not, Matt takes advantage of Josh's enjoyment of last month's film to lure him back into the SFP. This month, Josh is objected to yet another Stewart Raffill film, Mannequin on the Move. This 1991 film, a sequel to Mannequin, stars Kristy Swanson as a store mannequin that's really a cursed peasant girl under a 1,000-year spell. Will Josh enjoy the quest for true love, or will he drop a 1,000-year curse of a plastic life on Matt? Let's listen to the trailer, then find out.
Long ago, in a faraway kingdom,
do not draw that sword unless you intend to use it, sir.
A dashing prince and his lady fair ran into a few problems.
A symbol of our eternal love. You have cursed my gift!
Frozen forever until she meets a true love from another land.
And that is the legend of Hauptmann Konig's enchanted peasant girl.
1,000 years later, Jason Williamson started a new job.
Well, lucky you. Seems we have an opening on Mr. Montrose's staff.
Give me cheekbones, or give me death.
And found the girl of his dreams.
2.5 billion women in the world, and I'm trying to score with a statue. There is definitely something wrong with me. Gesundheit.
Dankeschön.
You're welcome.
Whoa! Why are you running?
Why am I running? Why are you moving?
After a 10-century snooze.
The lights are beautiful. How does it all work?
Well,
she's got some catching up to do.
It's diet soda. No calories, no sugar, no caffeine.
Oh, we had something like that back home called water.
Who's in the bathroom?
No questions, please.
We do not fall in love with empty things unless, of course, their daddies are rich. And in this case, her daddy's a redwood, so I forget about it.
Jason.
It's not what you're thinking, Mom.
He's in love with a dummy.
Oh!
The Count is here to preview the display.
Are you sure you're supposed to be out in the daylight? Get back.
I want to see the enchanted peasant girl now. Where is she?
The enchanted peasant girl's alive.
That is impossible.
I have to save her, Hollywood.
No one messes with Count Sprezzo.
I thought Cupid aimed for the heart.
Hey!
I learned this from the Marines.
You were in the Marines?
Yes, they were looking for a few good men, and so was I.
Jason, come on!
Mannequin on the Move.
Look out! Stranger things have happened.
Where have you been all my life?
Frozen.
Matt, you son of a bitch.
Oh, come on, man. This movie was not great.
No, it was not.
I'm not going to lie.
This movie's fucking terrible.
I won't say fucking terrible, but it's not good.
You just said fucking terrible.
Did I?
You did, see? I'm not going to say fucking terrible. See? Dude, it's just, I don't know. This movie, it's just stupid. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. Even for an early 90s movie, it doesn't make sense.
I was explaining to somebody earlier. This is like a 7th or 8th grade like writing project.
No, I mean, it's basically if you gave a bunch of 8th graders crayons and told them to write a fucking movie, this is what would come out. Let's take a mannequin that we're sexually attracted to and then turn it into a real-life hot woman in a short dress and with weird hair that everybody falls in love with, but yet she likes this one nerdy dude.
It worked in the first one.
I didn't watch the first one.
Oh, the first Mannequin movie
for good reason.
Hugely successful.
Nothing you've ever introduced me to has ever been hugely successful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No.
The first Mannequin movie
is fucking terrible.
Was a big deal. That's why they made this
Even
sequel.
the soundtrack was stupid. There was one song on here that was actually a decent song at the very end, and it's not even really that great.
Okay, so all the other songs seem to be like sound-alikes.
Yeah.
But they were right up my 80s alley. Like, I loved every one of them.
You like things up your 80s alley, don't you?
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, this movie came out of an 80s alley. As in a pile of shit.
It's not a great movie.
And every actor or actress in here is like the poor man's version of some other major actor.
Oh, how dare you.
The security cop is like a poor man's Rick Moranis.
Okay, yeah, I definitely see that.
Yeah, the main villain is like a mashup of Sylvester Stallone and Tim Curry.
Okay, the main villain is Terry Kaiser, who we saw in Tammy and the T-Rex.
Yeah, another terrible movie.
He loves playing foreign lunatics.
It's ridiculous.
I did write down while we were watching it that I love Terry Kaiser, but this is too much Terry Kaiser.
Yeah, that hair from his mole, disgusting.
Yeah,
it's worse than the mole
thing.
in Austin Powers with, who's it, Ben Savage? He's got that mole and he's just like, I'm going to tear it off and rip it off and make it guacamole.
Yeah, I think that was Fred Savage, actually.
Whichever
yeah,
Savage
but
it was.
You're right. It is disgusting and it made me want to vomit.
It's ridiculous. And it's like this really long, like Confucius-looking hair coming out of the side of his face.
Playing with.
Yeah, and
it's intentional.
Twirls it around. It's just disgusting. The main actor is like a rip-off of Tom Hanks. I felt like I was watching a poor version of Maze of Monsters again.
That's William Ragsdale. He was going to be big.
He did. He tried to be big like Tom Hanks.
He did have the lead role in a sitcom that started not too long after this movie.
Yeah, that lasted 3 fucking years.
Yeah.
Which
4
I guess
seasons, I think?
Which I guess on Fox is a long time.
Yeah, Herman from Herman's Head.
They usually cancel after a year, so.
Yeah, well, this was early Fox. They were really experimental. They really were.
They should have been more experimental with other great shows.
But yeah, he also was the lead role in Fright Night, the original one.
I don't know Fright Night either, because I don't watch shitty movies.
Oh, Josh.
Except for when I'm here.
Fright Night's a great movie.
You keep saying this.
All he does now, though, is like just different guest spots on TV shows.
When you say great movie, I just don't believe you anymore.
Oh, the original Fright Night. Tell you what, listeners, tweet at us. Tell Josh how great Fright Night is.
Yeah, they're not going to.
Yeah, they probably won't. It was good enough for them to reboot, though, with David Tennant. So
I do love
David Tennant. Had to be decent, yeah. Kristy Swanson. Yeah, Kristy Swanson.
Yeah, again, I'm not a big fan of Swanson's.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't like Buffy?
Yeah, I do love Buffy.
Yeah, the original Buffy was great. She was terrific in it.
No.
I don't really like her in a lot of other... Hot Shots, maybe. Yeah, she was good in Hot Shots.
I forgot she played the original Buffy in the movie. Before the great Buffy took over. Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Also, she was one of the great Disney movies that terrified me as a child, Mr. Boogedy.
She was Mr. Boogedy?
No, she was not Mr. Boogedy. She was in Mr. Boogedy.
Oh.
She was a young girl at the time.
I was thinking this was like The Nightmare Before Christmas, and it was Mr. Boogedy.
Oh, no, Mr. Boogedy is way worse than The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Isn't there there's a character in Nightmare Before Christmas named Mr. Boogedy, right? Something like that? Or the Boogedy Monster?
Oogie Boogie is who you're
Oogie Boogie. Yeah, Oogie Boogie. Yeah.
No, she was not Oogie Boogie. But yeah, and, Terry Kaiser we've seen before. We saw him in Tammy and the T-Rex as a crazy
Which was a terrible
lunatic.
movie.
Yeah.
And the people from Spark of Madness agree with me on that.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that point.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Tammy and the T-Rex is fun to watch.
I don't agree with you.
Okay, you're more than welcome not to.
That's the kind of point of this podcast.
The only link between the original Mannequin movie and this movie, other than the fact that A, she's a mannequin, and B, the Starship song, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, is Terry Kaiser. Or not Terry Kaiser, goodness.
Stuart Raffill?
I've been drinking. No, Meshack Taylor.
Indianapolis's
own Meshack
good old
Taylor.
Meshack Taylor, who nobody cares about.
Oh, son, you done fucked up.
I did.
Meshack Taylor from Indianapolis, several seasons, 10 years on Designing Women, had his own current affairs show here on WTHR TV.
That's fantastic.
Oh,
was he a stereotypical gay guy?
Yeah, he was the sassy gay black friend.
What is up with Stewart Raffill and over-the-top gay character?
I don't know. This was his first one, so the Tammy and the T-Rex guy was like a continuation of that trend.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's just Then they're progressively getting worse because this one was bad, but not as bad as the one Tammy and T-Rex.
There wasn't one of Mac and Me, right?
The alien?
No, I don't think so. The alien. Oh man. I'll tell you what, if they remade Mac and Me or rebooted it with Mac as a sassy gay black friend, I would watch the shit out of that. Yeah, I definitely would. Stuart Penkin's in this, who you don't know, right?
No,
but
I don't know any of these obscure actors that you talk about all the time.
Well, let's see. He's done tons of TV. Probably. I don't want to say the thing he's most known for, but the thing I probably know most known for is the voice of Earl on Dinosaurs.
Well, I know that show. Yeah. Not the Mama.
Yeah, well, he was the Not
the Mama. He was Not the Mama, yes,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, with its wonderfully depressing finale. It was great.
I don't remember the finale of that show.
Oh, they all died.
The asteroid comes down, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Or meteorite or whatever it is. Meteor, whatever.
Yep, and Cynthia Harris, big Broadway actress. She plays the evil queen and the dude's mom in this movie.
Which seemed a little weird. Because, at one point, she's an evil queen and wants to curse his bride.
Yeah, exactly.
And at the second point, she's a really supportive mother who wants him to be in love. So, how does she go from uber to amazing mother?
Okay, can you say that again without using that word? Because that one is not going out in the podcast.
How does she go from uber bitch to amazing mother?
Yeah, I don't know, because are these supposed to be reincarnations of the original people?
Yeah, I don't know. Because the prince is basically the same character. He's a very naive man who falls in love with a woman he shouldn't be in love with and wants to run away and get married to.
Well, that's most movies in the 80s.
Yeah, but I mean, he's the same character over and over again. The evil sorcerer is the evil sorcerer. But
is he like a reincarnation of the evil sorcerer?
The commoner is the commoner. The peasant is the peasant. She's still this foolhardy woman who wants to fall in love with a prince who swept off her feet and all these neat, shiny things.
The problem I have with this is
the mother's the only difference.
There was no analog for Meshack Taylor in the original scene set in the year 991?
Maybe?
That looks like they're in the 16 or 1700?
Yeah.
Instead of wearing animal skins and beating on each other with sticks, they're all wearing pretty armor and princess gear.
Yeah, it's a little off.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Well, no, so it doesn't have to necessarily be 1,000 years, because the curse is 8,000 years or until she meets the love from a different land.
Yeah, but
So he could be the love from a different land.
The wizard dude hasn't figured out that it's just going to be a few more days.
The question is that I don't understand is that how does someone know they're in love when they're a mannequin? At some point, I mean, how does love just form out of the middle of nowhere? Isn't love supposed to be like this huge grand gesture that somehow becomes love, but not just? I mean, I guess he rescued her from the lake or the river or whatever else, but is that what it takes to fall in love? Because it seems a little odd.
I don't know.
Because I mean, if I have to rescue a mannequin from a river in order to fall in love, man, that's not worth it.
Yeah. Also, she's a mannequin. I mean,
But she's also a very self-aware mannequin because she remembers everything that happens to her while in mannequin form.
Which is really
weird.
So
she's like a frozen golem.
Yeah, but because she's been like a tourist attraction in a castle in Hopman-König.
And no one ever caught her fancy then?
Yet she comes out, does not freak out about anything.
No.
And also knows how to drive a mini race car.
Apparently. But she doesn't know how to brake the mini race car.
Yeah, she doesn't know how to use the brakes. Which
she only knows how to use the gas.
I don't understand. When she comes to life, she doesn't freak out about anything.
Nothing.
And neither does he. He's like, oh, this mannequin came to life. Everything's great and I'm in love with her.
Well, I mean, he's not really had much luck in the dating world, and she's pretty hot and seems to be interested in him, so I get it.
But yeah, she was a mannequin.
If some mannequin came to life and was pretty hot and was interested in me and seemed like a real woman, I wouldn't be sad.
Also, this store that he works in is having a guest mannequin flown in.
Yeah.
to promote something, and they're having a store like show for
Yes, like a runway model show.
This really reminds me of Simply Irresistible.
It kind of does.
Like, it's this weird high-end store that's completely
Simply
unrealistic.
Irresistible was more realistic, which is saying a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I don't think this has any real-world
I mean, the only difference is that no one in this movie that we know of has crabs.
I don't know, Meshach Taylor might.
Aww.
Hollywood, baby!
Wow, he's insinuating that the only
fine,
gay actor is the
fine.
homosexual transvestite.
All right, then I'll say one of the 3 German stooges does.
The other 3 gay
Actually,
actors.
no, if one of those does, they all 3 do.
Oh, my God. This is not a homophobic podcast. Please don't take it as that.
I know this will surprise you. This movie with critics on Rotten Tomatoes gets 13%.
You know what? That's a little lower than I thought.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I'm surprised.
Like, cause there is some things in this movie that are okay. The score's not terrible, even though it's pretty much a ripoff of every 80s song ever. But it's not a terrible score.
Yeah,
it's not like it's
80s
not like
sound-alike.
But it's not like 80s porno cheesy.
It almost reminds me of some of the songs from Jaws: The Revenge.
I mean, the acting in the movie wasn't horrific.
I think they worked okay with what they had.
It's cheesy.
Which
I mean,
was not good.
It's early 90s cheese, but that's kind of what you expect. It's one of those movies where it's like, it's not necessarily a good movie, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah,
I mean, it was fun. I mean, it was...
Audiences like it more than the critics.
Obviously.
41%.
Yeah.
And again, this is the kind of movie where people seek it out, so it's a little skewed.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, well, there's a lot of movies like that. If you look at movies like Super Troopers, the critic score on that is terrible. The audience score on that is like a 95%.
Oh, yeah, because that movie is awesome.
Yeah. But the critics did not originally enjoy that movie. And there's lots of movies like that that are just terribly rated by critics, but great by audiences. And then there's other movies that are rated great by critics that are not good movies.
Yeah, so. This movie, what would you guess it grossed?
$6.5 million.
$6.5. How much would you think it cost, for one thing?
About $1 million to make, maybe.
Okay, well, this movie had a much higher budget than that because it was a sequel to a very successful movie. Okay. And in theaters, it grossed...
So was Short Circuit 2.
That's true. Short Circuit 2 had a decent budget. This movie had a decent budget. This movie only grossed $3.7 million.
Wow, that was way off.
Yeah,
What was the budget on
hard.
this?
I'm not real sure. I think it was about $6 million.
So I had my numbers reversed.
Yeah, it made about half what it cost.
But I wonder what it's made since then, because there are people seeking out this movie to watch it.
Well, I think people seek out this movie to watch it because it's bad. I mean, it's...
Yeah, I mean, it's... I wouldn't necessarily say this movie is bad. It's just not good. I kind of said that when we were watching it. It's not so much that it's... Intrinsically, it's not a bad movie. I mean, the whole concept of the movie in general is pretty standard for this particular genre and this era.
Well, it brings...
And so, I mean, it's got decent actors that you well know, that have played a lot of bit parts, that have a lot of IMDb credits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the main actress was pretty well known. She was in Buffy.
Yeah, she was really well known then. This is right before Buffy, I think.
It's one of those things where it's got at least maybe a B+ cast as far as list actors.
I'd say B-ish.
B- list actors. I mean, so enough to where they're well known enough because they've done the bit parts.
Yeah, but this comes back to the Stewart Raffill MO.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
You want a guy that can make something fast and cheap. You give him something, and he pushes it out within, like, weeks.
Yeah, and it's kind of his MO. He keeps doing this over and over again. And it's producing movies that you don't expect to be great, and so when you watch them and they're not a shitstorm of disgustingness, then they're okay. It's... I don't know. I'm just tired of watching these kind of movies. We've got to switch directors.
Well, I got to tell you, there's only one more movie.
I can't do one more.
From Stewart Raffill, and it's one that's actually well regarded.
I doubt it.
It really is. It was his first big budget movie.
Three other people that are responsible for this podcast.
I'll tell you what, it doesn't hold up that great time wise. Like, it's a movie from the early '80s, but yeah, I sincerely think there are parts of it that you will enjoy.
I highly doubt it.
No, and we'll get to it when we get to it. But
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it's going to be the April podcast.
That's right.
My birthday month.
Oh, your birthday?
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday way far in advance.
I know. Pretty excited for it. Turning a big 38 this year.
For that, we'll watch the decent Stewart Raffill movie.
Mike seems to really like it. And when it comes to Mike's taste, it's hit or miss with me.
Yeah, it's
some
a
things
movie
that Mike says he likes, I'm like, okay, I can deal with it. Some things Mike says he likes, I'm just like, you son of a bitch, Mike.
Well, it's a movie that's a product of its time, and like I said, there will definitely be
for a
parts that
long
you'll
time.
enjoy.
I really trusted Tony's taste until Heart Beeps happened.
Oh yeah, see that still hurts me.
Yeah, my heart does not beat for that.
But this movie made me feel like what I felt after that movie, where you've got an hour and a half movie that seems like it's 5 or 6 hours long.
But at least it was only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I think at one point I was like, this is like watching Lord of the Rings trilogy, but it's not as good.
Yeah,
and only lasts an hour and a half.
These movies seem way longer than they are.
Yeah, I mean it's just stupid. It's a standard setup for an 80s movie. You've got the villain and the princess and the hero and all the turmoil between, and then the great rescue that comes through, and a sword fight scene, and then you get hit with some.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how this department store show assistant choreographer guy knows how to sword fight.
I mean, fencing's pretty basic.
In a super puffy, like Seinfeld style shirt.
Well, yeah. It's the pirate shirt.
Also, in the show, the peasant girl comes out of a UFO.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened with that. Also, the brilliant escape plan was a hot air balloon, which, as we all know, hot air balloons are really bad about being controlled. They don't really have a way to steer them, so it seems like a really bad getaway because they just kind of float wherever they want to float, and they just land wherever they're going to land, and there's nothing you really do about it. And they're inside of a pretty big metropolis, so like running into buildings and popping the balloon is a real thing. So like imminent death is kind of the thing that's going to happen. And somehow the guy with a cut arm from a sword was able to grab a rope, climb up the rope.
Of course.
And then somehow switcheroo the necklace onto the bad guy, who then gets pushed out of whatever happened. It doesn't matter. It's not really important to the plot. Then gets pushed out of the balloon on accident, quote unquote, lands on the ground, and the 3 strong men are not able to catch him, but then he gets shattered, gets swept up by a street sweeper. They still find a way to find all the parts, put it back together, and put it in the same museum where the peasant girl was.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they're too dumb to figure out most things, but they can figure out a puzzle?
Well, yeah. They have to chase down the street
There was
sweeper.
also some, like, Kleenex thing put on his face, like he cut himself shaving or something. It was pretty bad.
Also, at one point, she keeps changing clothes after she's been changed from a mannequin to a person. Like, in a club, she changes clothes twice.
Uh-huh.
Where did the clothes come from?
It's a club. You don't ask questions.
That's true. She learned how to use
There's
lipstick
always
there.
some dress laying around in the bathroom somewhere.
Also, she knew what a ladies' room was. Like, she knew how to do things in there. And she's been frozen for 1,000 years.
Do you think that women don't know how to do things in ladies' rooms because they've been frozen for 1,000 years?
I'm thinking if she's from the year 991, she's used to shitting in a hole in the woods.
But also, after being frozen for 1,000 years, why wasn't her first reaction as I really have to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, there are so many
Because I feel like if I
things.
was frozen for 1,000 years, that would be the first thing I'd want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I realized she would have to go to the bathroom because she ate a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, which is immediate diarrhea.
Yeah. So I get why
especially
she
if
wanted
you're
to go.
from a time where you never had processed food, and one of the first things you eat is a Philly cheesesteak, which is
plus the
processed
paper.
food incarnate. Yeah, maybe the fiber in the paper is what kept her regular.
Regular? Yeah, sure. Anyhow, I don't have an ad read this week. I don't have a game this week.
That's great. I hate both those things.
Nobody.
Do you have a bunch of useless facts about this movie that we can talk about for the next 10 minutes?
I actually don't. The story of
Thank
this movie
fucking
not
God.
as interesting as the rest, but it's a movie by Stewart Raffill. So, yeah.
I mean, overall, I mean, this, like I said, this movie isn't a movie that I hated. It wasn't a movie I liked. It was much better than a lot of the other shit we've watched over the time of this podcast.
I think the only reason this is better than some of that stuff is because it had a budget.
I mean, the last 3 movies haven't been terrible. They've not been good. I really want to find something. It's just, it's getting too blasé at this point because we watched 3 from the same director. It's the basic same concept of how he shoots movies, and it's just, to me, it's just getting so boring. Because
this guy is just good at just pushing movies
he's
out.
not good at it.
He's good at it on the production side.
Maybe, but it's just, I just really need a change of pace on this podcast.
He's cheap at
because
it. Well,
it's
the next one...
It's the same thing over and over again.
The next one is his most highly regarded one, and
Passenger
it's
57?
very original. No, not
that
Passenger
feels
57.
like it'd be his highest regarded one.
No, we're only going with movies he directed, not wrote.
Oh.
Also, he's really bitter about the way they changed Passenger 57.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be
the way
for
that he
Clint
put out
Eastwood.
shitty movies that no one likes, he has a right to be bitter because we're bitter with him.
Hey, he cashes the checks.
You know, I mean, if I could get paid to put out shitty movies, I would too.
Oh, his biggest check is from Passenger 57.
I mean, Michael Bay keeps continuing to do it, so why not him?
Yeah. So, out of 10, what would you give this movie?
A 3.
A 3? Not terrible. I mean,
Yeah,
bad, but not terrible.
It's another one of those movies where I wouldn't mind introducing people to this movie because it's just fun enough to force somebody else to watch and torture them with.
Yeah, I mean, again,
it's enough to keep your attention, but it's
it
not
sucks
enough
an hour and a half of your life away,
Yeah,
and it feels like 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah, I feel like that I'm in some weird tree in the middle of a forest, and my life's being sucked from me.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4. It's not a movie I seek
Yeah.
out. I've seen it several times, but it's a movie, and that's what counts.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I always try to reference The Princess Bride in every podcast.
Yeah, I know. I tried to get you there with the true love, and
I know.
Oh.
Marriage is what brings us together today.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day, Josh.
And love, true love. Now, this podcast will not come out till mid-March, of course, but we are recording on Valentine's Day. It was the only time we all had free.
I hope all of you listeners enjoyed your Valentine's Day.
Yes, I would recommend watching this movie for the love effect of it. It's fun. I've ruined it all through spoilers, but you don't need to know. It just watch it. It's fun. I mean, if you want to get your friends together and watch a dumb movie that's going to be halfway entertaining, this is probably the one to watch.
Yeah, I'd give it a 4, and that's
you got
about
sword
it.
fighting, you got love, you got mannequins, you got weird necklaces, you got some medieval times. I mean, it's
hey,
what it is.
sassy gay black friend, can't go
Sassy
wrong
gay
there.
Affleck. I actually do like him a lot. I do know who he is. I was just being a dick earlier.
I was not aware he was from Indianapolis. But,
Yeah, I didn't know he was either, but I'm actually a fan of his acting style in general. He's always been good. So
yeah, he was R.I.P. Meshack.
Yeah, so
up in the big designing women studio in the sky.
With my mom as a kid, and he was always fun in that too.
But yeah, I think you'll like the next movie more. I hope you do.
I hope I do too, because you got to get back to something that's at least it needs to either evoke an extreme emotion, one or the other, from me. Because the last 3 movies have just been so blah for me. Like, it feels like I'm getting bored with it. It's like I either need to find a movie that I'm really going to like, or a movie that I'm just going to really fucking hate.
The next one's original, so you'll either really like it. Well, I won't say really like it. You'll probably like it, or you really, really, really will hate it. But
and the
it's one I
odds
enjoy.
are forever in the favor of me really, really, really hating it.
Maybe
Because
I'm not going to say
as the podcast
no.
states, I don't like a lot of things that you give me to watch.
I know. Still, no takers on the giant stack of DVD/Blu-ray.
Are you fucking serious?
Still none. Not a single one.
Wow.
I'm not adding.
Not even Spark of Madness.
Not
came
even
on.
the Spark
Not
of
even
Madness
Ben
guys.
Spark of Madness came.
I did
forward.
have one person say they don't want Blu-rays because they didn't have a Blu-ray player, and I'm like, I've got DVDs around, so you know, we may even throw in a Blu-ray player. Who knows?
At some point,
I'm not adding anything extra this week. What should be our hashtag for people who want the stack of Blu-ray?
Please take our fucking movies.
Yeah, hashtag please take our fucking movies, and
yeah.
Whoever puts up a good case, and believe me, with all the entries thus far.
Literally, all you have to say is, I want those movies. Hashtag, please take our fucking movies. Or hashtag TVX Bobox Sex.
Yeah, just tag us in it so we see
any
it.
hashtag that you put out there with tagging any of us, either the podcast, Matt, or I's Twitter page, like, we're going to see it. We
this stack has been growing since
You can probably even tag our producer, Mike, or our editor, Tony. Like, literally, anybody you fucking tag, according that any way in this podcast, we'll see it.
Yeah,
and you'll get free movies.
Because I'm not putting in Santa with Muscles until this one's gone.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Santa with Muscles will push to the top, though.
I think it will, but that's why we're starting the next bunch.
The best, worst... It's a fucking movie.
Oh, it is the worst Christmas movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, and I've seen some, and well, I can't say worst fucking movie it's a Christmas movie I've ever seen because the Star Wars.
Yeah, but that's not really a movie.
Well, but it is because they turned it into a movie due to ads.
I've been drinking, but I didn't understand that in the least.
Well, originally it was supposed to be a very short, special. But then so many people wanted to advertise doing it, they had to actually elongate the movie and create it to be longer so that more ad space could be given.
Okay.
That's why the Christmas special is so long as the way it is, and it's so shitty. Because they had to keep adding things because more people wanted to advertise during it, because Star Wars was such a huge thing during that time.
Okay. All right.
That's a fact that I knew that you didn't know.
Oh.
That happens every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
I give you some knowledge.
Do you have anything to add about this movie?
No. The only thing that I'm a little sad about is that, so I recently saw that I don't know what his name is. I can leave it up. The guy who did Invader Zim also did another TV series. That was really
Richard
good.
Horowitz?
Shohan, what his name is. What's his name? Anyways. Jan Vasquez. Jan Vasquez. He has another series came out that was really good back in the day. But apparently he's rebooting that and not Invader Zim. I need more Invader Zim in my life. And so if he listens, Invader Zim needs to happen. And needs to go to Netflix. Something needs to happen with it because I miss Invader Zim. I'm just saying Invader Zim a lot. It's been a week. Anyways. I know, right? Anyways, Matt, I love you. I'm going to continue to come watch movies with you because I love you, even though I hate these shit storms of movies. The time spent with you is all I really need.
The next one's going to be better, I promise.
So, I guess until next time, see you later, guys.
All right, man. Love you, Josh.
Love you too, Matt.
This episode of You're Gonna Love This or Not was recorded at the SFP Studios located off beautiful Eagle Creek Reservoir in Indianapolis, Indiana. It features Matt dragging Josh down into the dark depths of his movie collection and is released monthly on the Teen Geeking family of podcasts. It is produced by Mike Wycliffe, edited by Liz Shun and Tony Troxel, and features music by Scott Holmes, who can be found on the Free Music Archive. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or the podcatcher of your choice. And please leave us a rating and review. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.